propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. What's with all the propaganda? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody in here right now, but I'll probably talk a little bit. Shit. To you know what I'm saying, get going. You know, some people come back later on and watch the video. But man, it's a whole lot of propaganda going on in this truck industry, man. I don't understand why do people resort to propaganda to try to push whatever agenda they trying to push. Like, it makes no sense. I don't understand why white people, majority of the time, are the ones that push to use propaganda. It just makes no sense to me. And it's like the propaganda they got going on right now with the trucking industry. They be talking about, you see random posts on social media from like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. They be talking about like one post, they all talking about these illegal immigrants driving these trucks. All these dumbass people, all these dumb people still think that the illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants that's driving trucks are the problem. And that's just crazy to me. And it's crazy to me how people are so easy to join in on the witch hunt. And it goes to show, like, people don't learn. You know what I'm saying? Society don't learn. You know, society never changes. You know, it's the same thing over and over again. These people will lie for no reason and just make up shit. Like, and make up shit for no reason other to either cause confusion or cause fear, or just cause people to get caught up in unnecessary situations or scenarios. And it's always gonna happen when it comes to white people. Like, that's like their go-to is propaganda all the time. Propaganda. Whatever they've been doing it, they who damn near invented it, and they've been doing it like for decades and centuries. And just when you see it like in situations in the trucking industry, it's just crazy to me. I was like a video. I saw 2 videos yesterday. One white guy said that they're overloading trucks so that they can get pulled into the DOT for being overloaded, so ICE can arrest the drivers if they're illegal. If ICE was at the DOT section and they wanted to pull people in to make sure they were legal, DOT doesn't have to have a reason to pull you into the weigh station. As soon as you drive through that weigh station, everybody got to go through that weigh station. As soon as you drive through that weigh station, come on, man. As soon as you drive through that weigh station, they can pull you in. It's like that's not a big deal. Like, it don't matter. You can have everything right, be driving the speed limit, be doing everything you supposed to be doing, and they still have the right to pull you in at the weigh station. So why would they go to the extent of going to some warehouse that's somewhere in the vicinity, so-called vicinity of a weigh station, to overweigh somebody? Then on top of that, the majority of weigh stations are nowhere near close to a fucking warehouse. They normally probably like a good 15-20 minutes away from the nearest warehouse, or nearest warehouse, probably 10-15 minutes away from the nearest fucking store big store, something like a Walmart or a big chain grocery store or something like that, or whatever the case may be. So it's like, why would they go to the extent of finding a random warehouse in a random place to say, hey, overweigh these trucks so that we could pull these people over? If they thought that it was a lot of illegal drivers going to a particular warehouse, I could just pull up at that warehouse. They don't need a reason or excuse to do what the fuck they do. It's like, this stuff is just propaganda and lies that people say to either cause confusion or fear or push an agenda, or they just doing it for likes and views. I really think a lot of them just doing it for likes and views. The second video I saw yesterday, another white guy makes a video talking about they found out that they've realized, ICE and DOT have realized that drivers are driving at night and trying to bypass the weigh station because most of the weigh stations are closed at night. And so now they're going to the truck stops and just snatching people up at the truck stops. And so the guy was like, so if you're an illegal immigrant or you're not legally able to drive, you shouldn't be out here driving. It's not that many people in a truck that's not supposed to be driving. And like I've said before, those illegal immigrants or undocumented people that have CDLs that's driving, our federal government gave them those licenses. The FMCSA gave them those licenses. They didn't just go to some secret location or order the shit offline or something. They went to the DMV and applied for whatever program that they was told was being provided by the government or by the local government and the federal government, and that all they had to do was go to the DMV and go sign up, and that's what those people did. And so when we sit up there and we get mad at anybody, why are we getting mad at the people who took advantage of a program that was offered to them? Go after the goddamn government that gave them the fucking ability to do it. That's the problem. You in a flood, if you in a room that's being flooded, you find out the source of the flood first before you start mopping up the water. You know what I'm saying? You find the source of the leak first before you start mopping up the goddamn water. What you gonna just mop up the water for, and then the flood, the water is still coming, you know? And so that's what it is with these people. It's like, and I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm for illegal immigrants driving on the road. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. All I'm saying is if you feel like it's a problem, they're not your problem. The federal government that gave them the CDL license is your problem. That's who the problem is. It's not the people who took advantage of the program. It's the federal government. Because for anybody to get a CDL license, the federal government has to approve it. The FMCSA has to approve it. You have to go through some shit to get a CDL. You know, and so if a person is out here, it don't matter if it's a no-name CDL, it don't matter if it's a no-domicile CDL. The federal government had to approve that CDL for these guys to be driving on the road, for them to sign up, apply to work for a company. They had to get proven in the other thing, because for a company to allow you to be able to drive their car in the trucking industry, you have to have a valid CDL. So for them to insure the vehicle, they have to have listed everybody who's driving. They have to have listed everybody who's either driving that truck, everybody who could possibly be driving these trucks. They have to be listed on the insurance. And on the insurance, you have to have a valid CDL. You can't have a fake CDL. You can't have a no documented CDL. None of that shit. And so how are these people driving for these companies, named companies, And some of them is driving for big name companies, and they got these CDLs. Who are they getting it from? They're not going to some bazaars. They're not going to some goddamn, what they call that shit, we call them bazaars out here, but they're not going to no fucking, I'm just saying, they're not going to no fucking secret location to go get a goddamn CDL. You know what I'm saying? They going through the same process all of us go through to get our CDLs. And they getting cleared and getting approval from the federal government. Now, the issue is, if the federal government is at the point to where they want to take these licenses back, they know who they gave the license to. They know where these people are located. They know where they could find these people. So it don't make sense to me why they act like it's just so complicated to deal with these people, these undocumented drivers. All they have to do is just suspend that license. Send out a letter telling them that your CDL has been suspended or been reduced to a regular license, either suspended or been reduced to a regular license for whatever reason they want to pull out their ass. And then you automatically are going to be unqualified to drive. So whatever insurance company your company is driving under or using for insurance, they're automatically going to send out or contact the company you drive for and to let them know this driver can't drive. They license no longer valid. So then that company is going to be like, hey, you can't drive no more. Your license not valid. So we're going to have to pull you off the road. You know what I'm saying? The only issue you might have if you have an illegal individual that has their own authority. How in the hell did an illegal person get their own authority? Through the federal government. You damn sure can't get your own authority or have your own trucking company and you don't go through the government. You crazy. I got my own authority. So I know it already. Like, you have to go and present a lot of fucking information about yourself. They do background checks for you to even have, for you to be able to have the ability to get the license or the numbers to have your own trucking company. So we know for a fact that if you come across an illegal individual, an undocumented individual that's driving with a CDL, an American CDL, and they got their own their own authority, all that came from the federal government, and the federal government know that they're operating. They know that they're operating. And I know this for a fact because I got my own authority. They know everything I was doing when I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, these other people make these videos that lying and trying to spark fear in the people because they think that if they make people scared to drive, that's going to make people, that's going to take people off the road and that's going to open up more work. That's not how this shit works. That's not how this shit works, man. It's not how this shit works. And I don't understand why people are so fucking stupid. I just don't get it. It's like, I don't get the stupidity of people, and I don't get the stupidity of people that wanna push a narrative or want to use propaganda to push a narrative. That makes no sense to me. I just feel like that shit is weird. It's like, what's wrong with you people? Like, what's wrong with you people? There's only one or two group of people who always resort to doing that shit. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I can't stand propaganda. I don't like when people take people's words out of context. I hate that shit. It's like, I hate when people try to play the blame game. I hate when people try to make up lies to, and I don't give a fuck, like, if you trying to push whatever it is you trying to push for yourself. I believe in truth. And I just believe that truth wins regardless. And even if it don't win in this world, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather stand on truth. I'd rather stick, because I believe if you standing on truth, you standing with God. And so if you standing with God, I feel like it's nothing that nobody can put up against you that you can't conquer. That's just what I believe. And I feel like that when you resort to using tactics like propaganda and lies and trying to and purposely pushing people with misinformation, I feel like that you not trusting in the God that you believe in. I feel like that you not that you don't have full faith in whatever you got going on. So you got to go and do some shady shit to achieve whatever goal you think that you're trying to achieve. And you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that anytime you choose to go that route, I feel like that's the wrong route to go. You know what I'm saying? And we all human, we all make mistakes, but at the end of the day, some shit is just blatant, just fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what kind of person do you want to be? Like, how can you look in your... I guess some people don't give a fuck how they look at themselves in the mirror. Like, I can't look at myself in the mirror and I know I've done some whole ass shit, or I can't do... I'm cool with doing some people disagree with, but I can't be somebody who do whole ass shit and still look at myself in the mirror. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I can admit that if I made a mistake, I can admit if I was wrong about something, I could, you know, and all that kind of stuff, but I just can't sit up here and just purposely do whole ass shit, knowing being full aware I'm doing whole ass shit, and be fine with it, and look in the mirror like, oh man, there's nothing wrong, you know, it's just another fucking day. I just, man, I can't see it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Everybody else seem like they could do it, shit, you know, like this. I ain't that type of motherfucker. I believe in honor. Like, I still believe in honor, you know what I'm saying? Now, I do believe in some aspects that when you go into war, I believe in, like, what the Art of War says. Like, if you're not willing to go to the extent of your enemy, then you'll surely be defeated. I think that's how it's worded. But I do agree with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? There's certain words you can't say online. I just realized that. I remember. But yeah, man, fuck all that. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. These people need to really realize that your problem lies in your government. It's not the people. People run around here mad at people on welfare and people that's getting government assistance, and the person that you bitching and complaining to it about is probably getting fucking government assistance they damn self. And at the same time, they've got case after case where they busted like well-off rich white people fucking using fucking government assistance, using welfare and shit to do whatever they doing. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, after, you know, a lot of people been researching and doing, you know, research, government assistance as far as welfare, food stamps and shit was really created for white people. You know what I'm saying? And nobody else was supposed to be getting, you know, food stamps. And this in the beginning when they initially first created it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother topic, it's a whole nother story. But I just always try to push the fact that if we have a problem, if we have issues, it's like, and we want to deal with it, we got to go to the faucet. We got to go to the source of the leak. We got to go to the source of the flood. You know what I'm saying? If you walk in a room and that room is flooded, you just don't start mopping the water and try to clean up the water. You got to go find the source of the leak. And sometimes when you find the source of the leak, then you realize, okay, it's leaking right here. Okay, that means sometimes you can just turn the faucet off. You know what I'm saying? And then you can fix whatever the leak is. Or fix the spill or whatever. Sometimes if the leak is coming before the faucet's basically a regulator. If the leak is coming before the faucet, then you got to cut the water off. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to the main source and cut the water off from the main source. That's how we got to be about our government. When we sit up there and we see that we got a problem, we got an issue, we got to go to our local government. We got to deal with our local government. That's the faucet. You know what I'm saying? And so if the problem is not the local government, there's no issues with your local government, but it's still a problem, then you got to go to the main source. That's the federal government. You know what I'm saying? And then you try to cut it off from there. Now, at the end of the day, is that dealing with the federal government, is that more difficult? Yeah, it's difficult because we've allowed these people to get empowered based off of money and finances. And so money and finances, money and power, rules this world to a degree, and so, but it's kind of like we kind of allow it by voting certain people in, and then the people that we voted in not keeping their word, not staying solid to who they told us they was gonna be, and and all that stuff, and it happens on all races. It happens a lot with black people. Like we'll vote in people that's gonna tell us that they gonna do this, that, or the third. Man, they get in them positions and they forget who got put them in them positions, as well as the white people too. And and definitely the Mexicans. It's like Mexicans always forget where they came from once they get in the door. It's a trip to me, but it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, one thing I know is when it comes to when you look at all the nationalities of people in America, one group of people that kind of just stay to themselves and just do their own thing, and they seem like they live in a happy and successful life, is Vietnamese and Koreans. It's like you never see them in any official government positions. You never see them really running for anything. I can't remember the last time I seen a Vietnamese person run for Korean people run for anything. And they just be off to the side. They make their money. They work with one another. They do what they need to do, and they keep it moving. They got their own politics going on with their own people, and all that kind of stuff like that. And they just stay out the way. They don't get involved in everybody's business, and they just do their own thing. They the only group of people in America I can think of that are like that. Everybody else is with the shits. When it comes to goddamn white people, Mexican people, black people, we all with the shits. We all arguing, bickering, and fighting and all such kind of shit. These Chinese people over here sitting off to the side, stacking paper like a motherfucker. These Indian people off to the side, they stacking paper, sending it back home. These motherfucking all these people, stacking paper, sending it back home, and we sitting up here, we're just, these people on welfare. It's the white supremacy. All these black people, DIE, equal rights. It's just all this bickering from these main three groups of people. These fucking black people, white people, Mexicans, bickering and fighting all the time. Everybody else is just chilling. Like, making this money, send that shit overseas. Make this money, send this shit overseas. That used to be how the Mexicans was. Mexicans used to be like that. Mexicans used to stack their money up and send that shit back home. Stack their money up and send that shit back home. When shit hit the fan, they go back home. They got all the money they sent back. Man, I used to know Mexican dudes, man, that would be working up here. They whole families in Mexico. And they be up here working, they be sending money home. They be up here having a ball. Fucking hoes, fucking prostitutes, doing all kinds of shit. Like just out here, just dragging they nuts all over the goddamn, just out acting the fool, but they stay sending money back home, stay sending money back home, stay sending money back home. And when they show you pictures of their wives and their family and shit, this is my wife, this is my son, this is my daughters, all that type of shit, man, they out having a ball, you know what I'm saying? Shit, they having a good time. Send that motherfucker. Now that shit I have seen. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of motherfuckers like that. I don't know if they do that shit now though, but I know back in the day, throughout the me growing up from a child to being a teenager through the '90s and the early and mid 2000s, you see a lot of people doing it. I don't know if they still doing that now because it seemed like many of them was coming in droves back when Biden was in office trying to get in. But really, I feel like that whole promise was because, in my opinion, from what the understanding that I got was they was under the impression that if they made it to America, they would automatically get citizenship. And so Biden was supposed to be giving them automatic citizenship. That's the reason why a lot of these people ended up with these CDLs and all this other kind of shit, because they was going to be giving them people automatic citizenship. But Biden just couldn't get it through. But if Biden would have ran for that second term and won, then he probably would have did something and gave them their citizenship. Biden was supposed to run for that second term, and for some reason he decided not to. Why he decided not to, that part I'm not privy to, I don't know. But he was supposed to run for that second term. If he would have ran for a second term, he'd have won. Even if Trump ran, Biden would have won, because even if he either would have won clearly, or they just would have stolen from Trump again and said Biden won. But for whatever reason, they pulled Biden out and put Kamala Harris in there, and that was just plain failure in my opinion. I feel like they already knew Kamala Harris was gonna fall. That's just my opinion. I really do think that they already knew that she wasn't gonna make it, that she wasn't gonna. I feel like they set her up too fair. That's really my opinion about this shit. And I feel like she knew it. Like, I don't feel like she was ignorant to the fact. I feel like she knew it too. She was like, they gonna try to do this. That's why I do feel like she tried to tell some truth towards the end. That if y'all don't vote for me, they gonna do this, that, and the third. I really do think she was trying to tell people the truth, but she did so much whole shit. It was kind of like her name was kind of like already kind of stained and shit. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Government, man, stop looking at this government instead of blaming the wrong goddamn people. That's all I hear when I hear this song. I don't hear it nowhere. Like now that I saw an interview with him and he was talking about what he was actually saying. That dude actually had a message in that song. And all we was saying, it wasn't me. Does she come in on the camera? It wasn't me. Saw me banging on the sofa. It wasn't me. Like, that's all we know. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. That's all we know. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. That's just funny as hell to me, man. That shit is funny to me. That shit is funny to me. That shit is funny to me. It wasn't me. That dude actually had a message in that song, like he was trying to tell people not to live that type of lifestyle. And that shit's funny to me. And it's funny, like when they do these interviews with these Jamaican artists and stuff, and they be talking about their songs. And like Shabba Ranks, like all his songs, he said he had a message in his songs, and nobody listened to the message. And he was on the interview, he said he used to make him mad. Because he was like, it's like the songs were so fly everybody's so cool. You ain't listening to like nothing. Like you and it put you in the mood and the vibe, man. Like what is you talking about? Yeah, I had a whole message and people wasn't even listening. It's like, man, come on, bro. People just want to have a good time. People just want to have a good time out here, man. Sometimes life is just so much, man. Don't nobody want to hear a message. Sometimes people just want to have a good time. Just want to laugh and just feel good for a little minute. Shit, we've been lied to. A lot of people in life been lied to. Like, especially if you're in America, shit, in America, we lied to so goddamn much. It's just crazy. And the fact that some people believe it, and it's hard as a person like me to not see the lie. And it's like, I have a difficult time with that. And then the people around me, they see the lie and they don't give a damn. But I think the average person don't really give a fuck. The average person just wants to, god damn. The average person just wants to just live life and not be bothered with shit. So it's like, some people like being lied to. Basically like females. Women like being lied to. It's like a woman rather be lied to than you tell her the truth. I don't give a fuck what they say. Women always be on that shit like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Women rather be lied to. Women like the lie. Women like I don't know what it is. I just know that in my experiences in life, they like being lied to. Women don't like stability, and women don't like. There's a lot of shit that women don't like. I'm married, and I still know there's a lot of shit that women don't like, and it's like that's why I don't live my life by the standards or beliefs of what women think or what women want. I don't give a fuck. Like even being married, I don't give a fuck. Like I've never given a fuck. Like I've been married twice, and I don't give a fuck. Like I care about another person's emotions and feelings, and I consider shit that a person says, and I consider the things that a person wants and they wishes and they life wishes and all that kind of stuff. But as far as me giving a fuck about like how they feel about me to a degree, I don't care. I don't care because I don't really feel like as a man, I really don't feel like we're supposed to do. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. And it's because it's like if you really sat down, like having a woman, being with a woman, it's like you're dealing with like you're dealing with an individual you can't satisfy. And you're dealing with an individual you can't satisfy. You're dealing with an individual that they don't even know 100% of what they want they goddamn self. And so they claim they do, but they really don't. And it's like, and you can't really have these conversations, like men can't really have these conversations, but it's just the truth. Like you can talk to a man at any point in his life, and 9 times out of 10, the average guy, the general guy, no matter what type of lifestyle they living, they can pretty much tell you what they want at that time, or what they want in life, if they understand life to a degree. If they really haven't got to the point where they fully understand life, they can probably tell you what they want right then at that time. They might not be in the mind frame of telling you 5, 10 years, but they can probably tell you what they want right then at that time. Women can't do that. Women say some shit, but that ain't really what they want. Women be like, I want a good guy, this, that, and the third, and they get a good guy, and it's his voice, they don't like his voice. Women get a good guy, they don't like his voice. His voice is he talk too slow, he talk too fast. His voice too high pitch, his voice too low pitch, he's too monotone. He don't have no expression. He don't this, he don't that. Like it's like women always have a complaint about men most of the time when a man finds a good woman that he likes and he loves and she roundabout fits what he wants, he deals with everything else. Like he just, accepts everything else. Women be like, I don't like that. And then a lot of women like that, that's why so many women end up single. Then they turn around and be like, I'm single by choice. There ain't no woman out here that's single by choice. I'll just keep it on. There ain't no woman out here that's single by choice. You are not single by no motherfucking choice. You single because nobody wants your ass. That's really what it is. You single because don't nobody want your ass. If somebody, motherfucker wanted you, that motherfucker will fight for you. That motherfucker will fight for your love. That motherfucker will damn near fight for your love and affection to try to prove himself. Now, if you got a gang of niggas that be trying to go all out to prove themselves to you and trying to show you that they want you and want to be with you and want to be your actual man in the sense of what a man is, you got a bunch of dudes like that, and you choosing, you turn them down, and okay, then I'm wrong. Maybe you're choosing to be single. But I doubt any woman, it don't matter if she a 1 or a motherfucking 10, is got niggas beating down their door like that to be with them for fucking life. Because men don't work like that. Men don't really operate like that. You meet a woman as a man, I ain't talking about them sucker ass niggas. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about like real men who know what it is to be a man. A lot of times with us, once we see a woman that we like and we recognize, we gonna keep that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep that motherfucker with us. Whatever case may be. But we ain't intentionally really just out here on some coming to America type shit trying to find our wife necessarily. It's just a woman we meet a woman or a woman come in our life and they just push the right buttons and it's like, I really want to be with this one. You know what I'm saying? And then we go through the extent of trying to show this one that this is what we want. You know what I'm saying? And they usually fuck it up or something, by doing whole ass shit, by, going through your phone and all this other kind of dumb ass shit. It's just dumb shit. And then, but I don't live by the standards or beliefs of women. Because I don't feel like that's what we were designed for. I really don't. I don't think men was designed to live by the wishes and the wants of a woman. I really don't believe that. Like, I've never have. But at the same time, I do respect the feelings and the wishes of a woman. You know what I'm saying? I do respect the feelings and the wishes of a woman. If it's a woman I care about, if we having sex, I want her to get as much pleasure out of sex as I'm getting out of it. And if it's a woman I really care about, you know what I'm saying? I want them to get as much pleasure out of it as, so I want to know them, they sexual needs, they sexual wants, they sexual preferences and all that. But at the same time, if they're a motherfucker that just can't be satisfied, it's not gonna hurt my motherfucking ego. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever, especially if it's somebody I ain't really just like into that with. But and then like on the other, like you in a relationship, a real relationship, while you married, and I want to support whatever the person I'm with got going on, and however they need my support. Sometimes they just need you just kind of step back and just let them do what they do. And sometimes they might need some hands-on support. They might need a little help with something. They might need some intellectual help, or they might need physical help, or whatever they got going on. I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for that. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to women, I do consider their emotions, their feelings, their wants, and their needs. What I'm saying is, I don't dictate my life by it, but I do respect it and understand it, and I do consider it in my decisions that I make. You know what I'm saying? And so, but when a woman just come on some commanding shit, then I just throw all that shit out the window. Like, fuck you and everything you got going on. That's my mentality. You what I'm saying? But you got a lot of sucker niggas out here that will throw everything they believe and think and got to the side and totally focus on the wants of a delusional motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because women are delusional by nature. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just really feel like it's all about them, what they got going on. A lot of women are under the delusion of, well, I can have the baby and I can conceive the baby, so that makes me the greater being. It's like, but you can't do none of that without my goddamn sperm. Like, you can't do it without the goddamn sperm. Like, it's like, so it's like, you could, a garage ain't shit if you can't, if it ain't no goddamn car in it, it's just empty space. Like, you know, it's like, that shit never made sense to me. Like, when women be saying that shit, well, I could create a whole goddamn person. It's like, shit, you know, so can a dog, a cat, a pig, a cow, a horse, a fucking, a goddamn, a fish, a motherfucking bird, a goddamn, fucking, what the fuck else? Shit, a bird, a fucking, I'm trying to think of like mammals that have like live animals and not eggs and shit. But you know, it's like we pressed about that shit, man. It's like, what is y'all talking about? Like, it's like I ain't never understood that. Like, even as a kid listening to women say that shit, it had never made sense to me. Like, you can't have none of that if a dude ain't none of you. You just like, but we don't, but men, when growing up, I believe the men knew that the women was delusional. And so they really just kind of just went with it. You know, they kind of just didn't really talk about it. They talk about it amongst each other, locker room talk or break room talk, you know, whatever case may be. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't really bitch and complain about it like dudes do today. Like, a lot of guys today, like, kind of bitch and complain about women. To me, it seemed like back in the day, like in my grandfather's era, they just understood how women was, and it was just kind of like they just kind of rolled with it. It was kind of like, these motherfuckers is retarded, but we love them and we need them because we do need women. That's one thing you can't deny, because just like I say, they need our sperm. Shit, we need their goddamn egg, their uterus, and all that shit. You know, not only because the shit feel good, but also because, you know, being fruitful and multiplying too. So we need them. I'm not never disrespecting or neglecting the fact that we need them, but it's the fact that the way that they try to portray like they the end all be all, like, you know, it's like, come on, man, I don't know, like, you know, it is what it is. It's like, women are special, but we as men are special too. That's why women don't really like when they deal with a man like me, because I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. And so a lot of times back in the day when I was dating, I wouldn't really even tell women that I was like this, like, oh, I thought like this. And it's like, I was just kind of like mono, laid back and cool or whatever, and then just whatever I went for, and whatever I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't ever really express my actual thoughts and shit, you know what I'm saying, on certain type of shit, because I just, it really ain't their business. But it's like, they surely found out when they tried to play me, or if they tried you know, trying to think I was naive or something like that. Because sometimes, depending on the situation, I just roll with it. And then, because at the end of the point, I'm like, I'm looking at this situation, I know it's going to end up right here, and I know that this is the result that they expected, but they just don't know that this is what they're going to get. And so sometimes I would just ride the situation out, just being petty. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, it's like whatever. Because it's like, I really never play games with females like that. But females play a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like females play more games than niggas. But they like to pull that shit. Like, if a woman got kids and shit, multiple kids or 8 kids, they like to try to pull that shit on you. Like, what about me and my child? And I'm like, man, what about them? You know what I'm saying? It's like, got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I remember back in the day, I used to have females was like text me or call me and be like, they need some money because they couldn't buy Pampers, or they need some money to buy Pampers, or they need some money to buy some milk for their baby or something like that. And I'm like, That motherfucker got a daddy? Like, the fuck? Like, call it daddy. He's like, you don't call me telling me that your child needs something. You could be better off telling me that you need something. You know what I'm saying? Or like you need some money for whatever. You would be better off telling me you need some milk for yourself than telling me you need some milk for your child. It's like, and that might sound like some whole ass shit, but it's like when women come at you like that, in my personal opinion, they just feel like you're a sucker. That's just what I think. You know what I'm saying? If I really want to provide for your child, let me do that on my own. Don't try to gang me into doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that may sound kind of crazy the way I implied it, the way I said it. You have to see that you would have had to witness the situations that I'm talking about to understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the situations where somebody's trying to game you. Like, y'all not in no relationship. Y'all not at the point to their life's concerns or your concerns. You know what I'm saying? Just because I just met you last week don't mean I give a fuck about what's going on in your life. Because that's what I'm talking about. Not somebody you've been knowing 5-10 years and they just happen to have a kid or some shit like that and they need something. It's like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But everybody needs something sometime, and if motherfuckers just want to tell you the truth, I appreciate that more than the motherfucker lie. I'm talking about people who try to kind of game you and play you like you some sucker. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let people game you. Man, your friends game you and play you like a sucker, like your homeboys and your homegirls and, you know what I'm saying, your family members, they'll play you like a sucker if you're a sucker, if you go for that shit. I generally try to be nice these days, like, you know what I'm saying, the last 5-10 years, I try to be nice to people, you know what I'm saying, I try to like show face and be like, you know what I'm saying, just a nice guy, you know what I'm saying, like, but I ain't no sucker, you know what I'm saying, so it's like, I don't go for sucker shit, but I'm not finna sit up there and act out of character about the shit. I'm just gonna ignore the shit and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? That's how I move. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you on some sucker shit, or you think that you gaming somebody, or you think that you fooling somebody, or you think whatever you thinking in your head. My mentality and the way I am is like, you can have this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Have this shit. I know coming up, I've always been one of them friends that like, your enemy is my enemy. You know what I'm saying? And whatever your issue is my issue. That's how, that's how I was raised to be. That's what I was raised, that friendship was. It was more like a brotherhood, more so than just a person that you just know. So if something popped off or something went down, and I'm right there with you, well shit, I'm right there in it with you. We gonna ride this, we gonna rock this shit out together. You know what I'm saying? And then I come to the realization that everybody's not on that same page. Once I came to the realization everybody's not on that same page, here recently, I backed off from that. But it's like, I know how I am as a friend. I know how I am as a loved one. So I just pull back from fucking with people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard for me not to show that emotion. It's hard for me not to go in that to have that emotion for me. So now I just regulate who I fuck with, how I fuck with them, and all that kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I avoid getting involved in people's business. I let people talk, but I just let people vent. And to me, I just let that shit go in one ear and out the other ear. I'm just being honest. Because a lot of times when people talking to you, they really not looking for a solution unless they ask you specifically for a solution. If they just talking, they just venting. So if they just venting, you can just let that shit go in one ear and out the other. You ain't even got to retain that shit. You ain't really got to listen to that shit. All you got to be like, oh yeah, that's crazy. Oh, okay, I understand that. I see why, you know what I'm saying? I see why you think that. Oh, okay, that makes, that show wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? They could be 100% wrong. Like, you sure ain't right. Because I used to be that motherfucker that would get all into the conversation. Oh, that's fucked up, man. That's some whole ass shit. Man, shit, fuck that. We go deal with that shit right now. Like, that's the type of attitude I had. Man, fuck that. Fuck that. Don't nobody give a fuck about this shit. Man, fuck that shit. So, I don't do that shit no more. I don't do that shit no more. All the people I go back for now, like that, is my household. My wife, my kids, my brother. That's it. And his kids, if he ever have issues with his kids, then yeah, shit, I'm gonna roll up, do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? But I still got a couple, a small group, probably like mainly 3 dudes. And you know what I'm saying? I go to bat for with everybody else. It's kind of like I end up with a flat tire breakdown. Late today, man. I'm sitting up there thinking, I'm finna leave from the yard. Man, it's Somebody said I'm stay still because I'm a truck driver, man. I'm married like a motherfucker. I'm married like a motherfucker. I gotta figure out what these crowns are. I'm gonna look at that today and figure out what these crowns are. Like, what is it? I'm trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. Top fan stuff. I have to look that up. That shit I'm married like a motherfucker. I got a crazy top press with the whole thing about it though. My wife know I think like this. See, that's the difference though between me and a lot of guys. My wife knows I think like this. You know what I'm saying? Even though, but she got her way of thinking too. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of crazy with the shit she think too. Yeah, I'm crazy with the shit I think. And, we just rock with it. We just roll with it. We just don't. We've never tried to change one another. And that was my thing when I was dating. When I was dating with my when I was dating between. How the fuck you say this? When I was dating before my second wife. When I was going through that dating phase, I wasn't trying to change nobody, which I've never been the type of motherfucker to try to change me. I just let you be you, and then I decide if I'm gonna deal with you or not. And that was my thing. Like, so when I met my wife, that's the phase I was in. I was like my first wife. I really wasn't thinking about types and what I wanted and all that other kind of shit. I didn't know nothing about none of that shit. I didn't even really think that deeply off into it. I met my first wife and it just went how it went. Everything kind of went fast. We got married young and we got divorced and it is what it is. My second wife, I was a little more experienced. I knew about what I wanted, round about what I wanted, but I knew definitely what I didn't want. You know what I'm saying? And so, I kind of rolled with it like that. And you know what I'm saying? So when me and my second wife met, we hit it off, and and it just, and it went like it went, but it wasn't fast. Everything was gradual, like everything kind of grew. They had organic growth. Our relationship was organic growth. We had our ups and downs and went through our bullshit, but it had organic growth, and I feel like that organic growth is important because it gives you time to lock in together. Versus you just meet somebody because this, that, and the third, y'all, then all of a sudden y'all married, y'all trying to live this life, then the first sign of bullshit, y'all break up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But that organic growth, a lot of times y'all go through a lot of bullshit. Y'all might go through a couple of breakups, get back together, and figure each other out. And then eventually one day y'all just lock it in and y'all roll with it. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. I'm running behind today. See how it goes. See how it goes. Like a motherfucker, off and on. Rolling, man. I appreciate y'all checking in. Just talking about various topics. Talking about propaganda in the truck industry. And somehow I ended up talking about relationships between men and women. I don't know how I ended up talking about that. I talked about that. And, now just rolling. Raining out here. It's supposed to rain all the way till the goddamn weekend and shit.